Hey guys, lepedaler back with another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Giant TCR and comparing it to the Giant Propel. We got the legendary all-arounder versus the Beast Aero bike. So we'll get into the details and see the differences between each or the similarities, and maybe that will help you guys decide if you are on the fence on which one to pick depending on which type of riding you do. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So I know many of you guys watching are big fans of the format, and seeing the differences clearly and the similarities makes it a lot easier when comparing both bikes. But I would highly suggest you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel, because with the more support and growth of this channel, I do plan on making these videos, but with the real bikes in hand, which would be a lot better content and be better for you guys as the viewer. So the TCR we're going to be comparing to the Propel is the TCR Advanced SL0 Disc 2021 edition, and that's going for $11,000. Now, if you guys haven't watched already, I've made a video on this bike, so I'll link it right here. And we're going to be comparing it to the Propel Advanced SL0 Disc Red 2020 model. And the TCR versus the Propel is something that I would get asked a lot. What are the main differences? Where does one outperform the other? And this is what we're going to be talking about in this video. So with the TCR, the frame is made for all around, but it really shines with climbing. So, riders that are going to be using a TCR would be someone that has rolling flats, likes to climb, and it's not spending a lot of times on flats or a lot of group rides. So, if you're doing a bunch of riding and you want something that's going to accelerate, feel snappy, it does have a race geometry because it is designed for racing. That's what the TCR really shines. It's just no matter what you throw at it, if it's climbing, if it's descending, if it's cornering, if it's fast flats, if it's group rides, races, criterium, road races, like no event or discipline or condition really hinders the performance of the TCR, because it is such a well-balanced bike. In my opinion, one of the best well-balanced bikes that you can actually get on the market. So the TCR is just known as the all-around, legendary bike. But when we compare that to the Propel, you can see drastically some differences right off the bat. So when we look at the TCR, you can see that it has a somewhat sloping top tube versus the top tube on the Propel, which is straight flat, and that's for the aero benefit. So this is what an aero bike is. Now, with the release of the 2021 TCR change in geometry, you can see that they've actually added, and I talked about this in my video, so if you haven't watched it, I'll repeat, please watch it, it is linked. And you can see that they made parts of the bike more aerodynamic. So not only do you get the all-around benefits, but you do get those aero flares that are going to increase the aerodynamics of the bike, which will make you a little bit faster. But then again, it all comes down to legs. But the Propel is, just looking at it, you can tell it is an aero beast. So the top tube has to be flat for aerodynamics, and you can just see there's a lot more bike carbon fiber on the bike, and that just helps with the airflow around the bike. So if I compare both of them really quickly right now, you can just see all the parts on the Propel are thicker, and that obviously helps with propelling yourself. Get it? Propelling yourself? The Giant Propel? I get it now. The Giant Propel has a lot more material on it because for airflow, it's just a lot better for aerodynamics, and you can tell that just by the looks of it, it screams aero, right? So aero, all-arounder. Now, the one thing also that you can see right off the bat is that on the TCR, on both wheels, you have a balanced Cadex 42mm wheel set, where on the Propel, you actually have a 42mm on the front and a 65mm on the back. So yet again, that just screams aero. So you want something that's going to be somewhat balanced in the front to slice through the wind, but then at the back where there's a lot of drag, you want something that's meaty, that's going to give you all the aero benefits. So you can see thought has been, really put into which bike and how it performs. But we're going to get into now, why would someone buy the Propel? So I say this all the time, aero bike equals stiff. So like aero bike is super stiff, where the TCR is stiff in all the right areas. But if you want something that's like super, super stiff, where if you accelerate or if you're going at high speeds, which is what the Propel is designed for, like the Propel will outperform the TCR in terms of just pure acceleration, pure speed. But then again, it depends on what type of riding you do. So, the Propel, I usually tell people, it's usually designed for people that are going for an hour, 2-hour group rides, fast group rides, or criterium racing. And they're more focused on speed benefits rather than, comfort, or I would say balance in terms of climbing and cornering and a bunch of stuff. So I'm not saying the Giant Propel can't climb or can't corner, because it definitely can. It is a road bike at the end of the day, but it just depends on how fluid you are on the bike. So I've ridden the Propel, I've ridden the TCR, and when I've ridden the Propel, when you are on a fast pace line or you're going super fast on a flat, you can tell it really shines there, and that's what it's designed for. And that's when the bike really outperforms the TCR. But in terms of climbing and just, I would say, in total of all the riding that I do, I personally am a fan of the TCR just because it is a well-balanced bike. So the people that I really see riding Propel are someone that are doing short rides. They want all the aero benefits that they can really get. But for all around, I would strictly go with the TCR. But if you are an aero fanatic and you love aero gains and you're doing a lot of fast group rides or just fast riding in general, you're not doing a lot of 4 or 5 hour rides on the weekends, it's just strictly like an hour, 2 hour workouts on the road or with others, I would suggest the Propel. Now, a lot of people usually think the Propel is uncomfortable, and that can sometimes be true, but then again, the TCR can be uncomfortable too. So I always tell people, no matter if it's an endurance bike, a race bike, an aero bike, an all-around bike, a bike fit is what determines comfort on the bike. Now, yes, if the bike came pre-slammed and the stem was already like fleshed with the top tube, I can understand discomfort, but in general, a bike fit is what makes you comfortable on the bike. So a lot of people forget that. You can usually make any bike moderately comfortable if you tweak things around, but out of the box, from TCR to Propel, the geometry actually of both bikes are pretty much the same. The only thing that changes, like I said, is the top tube, and from what I know, that's for aero benefits. Now, the difference in price between these are the exact same red SRAM group sets. The only thing that changes is the deeper Cadex rear wheel, and because, like I said, it has more carbon, it's more aero, that's why you're paying $1,200 more. So that's something to consider, and just you really ask yourself, is the aero benefit worth $1,200 more? Both these bikes do come equipped with SRAM's ETAP Red 12-speed group set, wireless, so it is really nice. It looks really clean. You don't have to worry about any wires internally, and it does have a Quark power meter, which is really nice to see. So out of the box, you do have a power meter. Now, the question that everyone wants to know, what is the weight of each bike? So for the TCR Advanced SL0 Disc 2021, the weight is 6.4 kilograms, and for the Propel Advance SL0 Red 2020, the weight is 7.1 kilograms. So you are paying the price for weight with the aero. So dependent if you want the aero benefit, it is going to be a little heavier, and you can definitely feel that on the climbs. If you guys want to see these types of videos in real life with the real bikes, I suggest you guys smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. I cannot tell you how much that helps with the growth of the channel, and eventually these videos will be with the real bikes, and I know that will be a lot more interesting and a lot more helpful with you guys getting a better comparison. So please do that if you can. So that about wraps it up for the video. I hope I explained the big differences between the TCR and the Propel. The TCR is the all-around, climbing, flat, descending, everything, and the Propel is designed for aero in mind. If you're looking to go fast, if you're looking to get every aerodynamic benefit, you should go with the Propel, and other than that, that's about it. So if you guys did enjoy the video, please smash the like button and subscribe, and until the next one, keep on pedaling.